You know, I don't know. We're in the Boston market, and a lot of people in New England and around the country say, "Well, we're not affected by the internet. Our customers don't buy on the internet. Our customers don't buy online." And I'm sorry to say, but the entire world goes on the internet. I mean, when was the last time you made a purchase of anything? You didn't immediately go to your phone or immediately go to your laptop. You just maybe you weren't going to buy it, but you wanted some information. You know, the days of not thinking that your 25-year client is going on the internet to get information and potentially pricing on tires, wheels, shocks, brake pads. I mean, I name just about every part we've ever installed in a car. The customers will call us and say, "Well, I saw that price on the internet." So it's here to stay. Please don't deny the fact that it is here to stay, and it's growing every single day with more people looking, whether it's a restaurant reservation or a set of tires, they are on the web. You know, when we do it, just to go back, everybody says, "Oh, it's the yuppies or the millennials or my kids or something." Well, guess what? From my demo down, I can be the oldest guy in the room. Everyone is on the internet, and our business is bombarded from everything from the tire rack, discount tire. I mean, we have our prices online, people promote it online. And Amazon is, they're going to be in the tire business. They're in the tire business now. They're in the tire business now. A lot of people don't know it, but they're more aggressive worldwide than the tire rack is to us every single day. And they're growing, and they want a piece of that pie. So what we do, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, but when you shop us on the phone, somebody calls up and they say, "Yeah, can you get me a price on the 205, 55, 16, 89H," and they give me the SKU and the model number. First thing our guys say to them is, "You shopping on the web? You shopping online?" And there's a little hesitation. And if they say yes, we will say, "You shop in the tire rack." We'll say that to them. And we find that by admitting with them and talking to them about their process that they're going through to buy tires, at least we know what their benchmark price is, okay? So every one of our computers or our stores has a tire rack, has Sullivan, has all the competition on our screen. So if somebody says, "Well, no, I'm looking at Town Fair Tire." You're in the room, Mike or Neil, I can see you. We know what Town Fair is selling at. And I think you really need to be, just don't say, "Well, I know what they're selling for." Be aware and say to the customer, "Yeah, they're selling that tire for $102.50. And they'll say, "Yeah, you're right." And they say, "Well, they're going to do this for free or that for free." And you have to know what is and what isn't included in those internet prices. And, we're just turning people around, especially the ones from the tire rack. I think that's our easiest competition these days. Because we match their price within a few points. We add our services. We add our famous Massachusetts sales tax. And we want to get the wheels off the brakes. So, I mean, that's why we want to make the tires there. We want to take everybody from service business. If you stop selling tires because you're not aware of the competition, you're not going to look at this as a great point.
And Barry's point, as far as engaging that customer and having a conversation about the things that are included, best thing you can do is have an opportunity to engage that customer. You can educate them. You've got your 2 minutes in front of them. So if you can win them over with good phone skills, good service, that does count. If you go to people and ask them their buying experience, it's very important to me. Price is only one of the factors. Not everybody shops on price. Everything's up. Everyone wants the lowest attainable price. I know when I go to buy something, I don't say, "Let me get the worst service and the worst piece of crap I can buy because it's cheap." So I mean, if you have an opportunity to engage that person, phone call is really important, really important. And I think if you have good phone skills with your people, it garners more sales, and you can maybe get them out of that internet buying.
Yeah, and to Barry's point is, the key is to have your salespeople prepared for the online quotes and educated, because if you don't know what you're fighting against, you're already lost. And if you don't know what you're fighting against, then all of a sudden the customer is the adversary. But if you know everything they're looking at and everything they've done, and you can educate them on how this business or that business works, all of a sudden you're their friend. You're the educator opposed to their adversary, and they're looking to you for answers. And that really gives you a good sales opportunity. Another thing, for years, I've dealt with other customers that, and other people in the business where they get a rack quote, and they're like, oh, I don't match them. There's no way I'm selling tires at that point. It's like, you're out of the game if you're doing that. It's better to make next to nothing on the tires and get that car in your shop for the service and everything else. And 9 times out of 10, if you go through everything and you say, hey, you bought these tires from the rack, let me just price you out anyway, even though you bought them. If you had got them from us and done everything with us, this would have been your cost. 9 times out of 10, you will get that next sale, and they'll just look at the rack as an experiment.
Hey, we want them to look at the rack for information, which is fine. And if, we're an installer on the tire rack, and everybody says, oh, why do you do that? Because we want to be in front of that customer in one way, shape, or fashion. And what we're finding is people call us and say, well, I'm on the tire rack, and I have these tires sent to me. First thing we say, have you ordered them yet? And then we have the chance to say, well, over the life of the tire, I'm going to save you money. What if you have a warranty? You can send it back to South Bend, Indiana? They don't realize that. What are you going to pay me to rotate and bounce over 5,000 or 6,000 miles? What are you going to pay me to that flat repair, somebody else's tire? So if you spread that cost out over the life of the tire for people, they're going to know that you are aware of what it costs to own tires throughout the time they have it. So we're right in front with people. You got it. How many of you have your prices online? Oh, okay. Are people afraid to put their prices online?
The question, the reason we don't do it is, in our area in New Hampshire, we are the highest price for installation.
Good place to be.
So, and we're above what national account pricing is, but all of our competition is in the $50, $60, $70 range to install 4 tires, whether they're new tires from Tire Rack or tires that they're just putting on for winter. So if we were to put our prices up as an installer against them, we would be, I don't think we would get anybody come to our shop because we're double the price.
Well, we're the highest price installer in Boston, and the rec tells me we get a lot more tires than other people.
Well, but how do you distinguish? How do you let those people know that your techs are TIA certified, or that you have, state-of-the-art equipment? People aren't sitting in a pile of tires while they're in your showroom waiting. Those are the things that we're trying to figure out how to combat.
Well, if we can, get those people to our website, they can figure it out themselves. They go on Yelp, they can go on Google rating, they see how we do. The rack is rated this, but, do you have your tire pricing online?
No.
Well, people today, they don't want to fill out an email quote, go on there and say, within 24 hours you'll get a quote from us. They are not doing that.
Just want to know.
They just want to know right now. Everybody wants it yesterday. So I would highly recommend you put your prices online. You can go out there, if you know what tire scraping is, you can hire companies called Tire Intelligence. You can go out there and they'll shop the competition for you. If you say, I want to know everybody within 25 miles of me, what are they selling tires for? They charge you, it's not a lot of money. It's actually Michelin co-op. And they'll tire scrape prices in your market. That way you know what the competition is selling for. You're not going to do it manually. Say to your guys, call everybody in town on this 195, 65, 15. Just everybody's caller ID, and they know who's calling. So.
You mentioned the service skills that can probably change the internet, the customer's internet line.
I'm sorry, sir.
You mentioned service skills to change the customer's internet instead of buying off the internet. You also throw like incentive, like balance for free. Does that help too to buy tires online, because they can't get that service either if you buy online?
Yeah, we do free alignments for if you buy 4 tires from us.
Does it help? Does it help the customer stay with you?
For us, it does, absolutely. And with that, we compete against Costco a lot, and it helps sway people over from Costco, because Costco constantly has promotions.
We'll get somebody calling us with a set of tires, and they say, geez, I can get them from the tire rack for $900. Okay, so maybe we're pretty, I'll use the word bold. Is we'll say, well, where do we need to be? He doesn't want to buy them for $900 because he wants to get service throughout the life of the tire. So is our service worth $250, $300? It depends on the tire. And most people, when we tell them, if we give them a number, most people say, yeah, Bob Lane, my general manager, he uses the phone a lot. they're willing, they want to do business with us, they want to do business locally. And that's the other thing you push when people call you, say, look, wouldn't you rather keep the money in our community? And, you know, granted, we got sales tax, nothing we can do about it, the New Hampshire guys, but, you know, you've got to sort of entice them into coming into the store for the benefit of your lifetime service, local business, and, you know,
From all the
we
things
can
that
do
differentiate
it. What's
yourself,
the
like
word?
you just said.
Yeah.
What makes somebody a destination they want to go to? You and your people, what you can provide. I mean, it's a very powerful tool, but you have to have a mechanism in place to get them to not buy on the internet. So it is our job to do that. And everybody's market's different. I don't give away alignments. I'll take $30 off an alignment instead of $99. I charge $69. I live in a relatively affluent area. I know what everybody around me is selling for. I'm benchmarking. The way that I go to market is we are going to service you like you have never been taken care of before. That's why we want to become our family. And like you said as well, certified techs, ASE certified mechanics, all that stuff is on the wall in the showroom. Things that give you an air of credibility where other places, you can go anywhere, you can set tires on for $10 a piece if you pick the wrong guy, awesome.
Yeah, that's an important point is, there's always a low installer out there, but you need to make sure to educate, okay, yes, we're more, but we're gonna stand behind any work we do. If we bust a TPMS sensor, we're replacing it. If we scratch a rim, we're taking care of you. The guy for $10 a tire, do you think he's built that into it cost? No, he's gonna do everything he can to hide that if he does anything wrong. And you can play roulette and win sometimes, but if you do that forever, eventually that's not gonna happen. And I found that to be a very strong case to win over for the more expensive installer fees. Another thing that I find with the rack and online services is there's a high percentage of misapplication. People know just enough to be dangerous. They know their tire size, and not much more than that. And coincidentally, I got a Facebook message while we were down here from a guy from Montreal. He's got 22. He's putting on a Grand Cherokee, and the tire size that he was looking for, and he found online. He called me. He hadn't bought them yet, just as you said. And I asked him, and he said, "Oh no, well, what can you do?" And then I started searching it, and it's totally the wrong size to begin with, and it was a really hard size to get. So all of a sudden, I'm the educator, and in a position where now he's looking to me for answers, and I pointed him to the right size, and he was looking for some Beretta signs that he didn't know anything about. I know the rep. I called him up. He's like, "Oh," he told me they were in Europe. There was none in the States. All of a sudden, I'm a hero to this guy, just because I took time to ask the question. What is this going on? What are you looking to do? Opposed to just going, "Oh yeah, we can do that," and pushing it out. You always got to extend the conversation past what they're initially asking.
You know, on that point, I think the future of the internet buying is even growing with our friends, our suppliers, and now going to be selling tires online. You know, Goodyear's doing it, Michelin's getting into that area. I hope none of the other manufacturers are going to, but you know, it's going to give us more opportunity to educate the client when they call and say, you know, I was on Michelin's website when I have those MXM4 shipped to your store. Well, what size did you get? You know, this is coming into November and you're buying a Pilot Sport summer tire. Do you know what you're talking about? And, you know, it will, I think, again, if you're really focused on what that person's saying on the phone to educate them, because I foresee, you know, with Goodyear and Michelin in the mail order business, we're going to get a lot of wrong tires in the store, and the customer's going to be pissed off at us, you know, and then, you know, well, they get a flat repair, they're going to expect us to fix it for free. You know, there's a warranty. Is Michelin going to expect us to fix that for free? Well, I mean, I'm not getting up on a soapbox, but I'm not going to be an installer for Michelin, whether in the room or not, because I know that it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare for the customer. And then the customer's going to be unhappy with us and unhappy with Michelin. So then they're going to go to the next brand and the next dealer. So I just think manufacturers are not going to be our best friends on this mail order.
Now, are you involved with the Goodyear program?
No.
I am, and no offense to the Goodyear guys in the room. Well, it's not your fault. But yeah,
You're not from Akron.
yeah, they're not from Akron, but the way that Goodyear set up this program is just the most uneloquent way imaginable, where basically anything in their parts catalog they assume is in stock, and you can order. And I think to this point we've had like 8 to 10 transactions. I think 2 of which have gone positively. But working with the customers, those have turned around into positive sales for us, and us looking good. But I remember one time they ordered some tire that Goodyear doesn't even make anymore, but it's in their catalog. So they could buy it, and it was on, and they're like, oh yeah, it's going to be there on Tuesday. Yeah, 2020.
It is frustration for the customer and the installer.
It is frustration, but
I think the bigger thing about being an installer, granted I am an installer for the tire rack, but I think that's a different market and that's a different business philosophy, because they're the big bull in the room.
Yeah.
They're delivering a customer to us, okay? What I find is that, and again, if Michelle's in the room, I'm sorry, but, you know, we're all in the cash flow business here, right? It just happens we're in the tire business, we're in the cash flow business. So, you know, you buy that set of tires for $100 a piece, sell them for $600, you get $600 in your bank, right? Maybe 60 days or 90 days, or some of us run longer, some of us run shorter. Let's say you have that $600, so your cash flow is now based on that one tire sale a month, okay? So now Michelin, the other guys, want to say, well, we're going to take you out of the cash flow business. We're going to give you $125 to not bounce those tires. What am I going to do with $125? I'm not going to pay my employees. I have no cash flow now. All I'm getting is $1.25. It probably cost me $1.25 to do. So they're taking us out of the cash flow business and making us into an installer. I'm not an installer. I'm a tire dealer. So, and I think everybody in the room is a tire dealer. We need to stay, you know, that's our customer. Let us sell the tires like we always have. We'll buy the tires from somebody, we'll sell them to somebody. Don't take us out of that route. Yes, sir.
I'm from New York State, so I don't know much about any of your guys' businesses, but can you give any insight to people in the room as to what you do after you make that initial sale? What are your business practices to get that online first-time customer a repeat customer?
That's what we try to do to get, I mean, what do we,
How do you go about doing that? How do you make that one sale into multiple repeats?
we wow them.
Just some of your practices.
You know, we wow them. We extend all of our lifetime warranties to them. We show them the services we do. We offer to do all their scheduled maintenance. We tell them everything we do. And we try to make that first experience the best they've ever had. And just, you know, we've got a loyalty program, we've got all that. So I mean, we're just trying to make it.
What's the loyalty program? I'm just trying to, I know you guys are well established in the tire business, but maybe you could share some of your practices that
Well,
other people could use in the room.
You know, we do lifetime rotations and balances, lifetime flat repairs, lifetime alignment checks and things like that. We have a loyalty program where you build up points every time you're in. And you can use those on first visit, second visit, third visit, you can share them with friends. You bring us a customer, you get some loyalty points.
Nice.
You know, I think the loyalty program for the tire business is a little, I don't know, I know it's good, but we only see people about 2 or 3.5 times a year, so it's not like going to a restaurant.
Right, but this is the world we live in, so we're constantly thinking about tires, but, you know, the average person that's out there, it's I eat something, I don't know, my car's making a noise.
I always have a philosophy of the fact of the matter is we're the dentist office for your car, and people don't want to be there usually. With that as a base premise, what can we do to make their experience as positive as possible when doing business with us? That's one of the things that comes up a lot in the first talk about reputation management. Everybody always talks about how to push down negative reviews to service, what you can do online, but the fact is there needs to be an underlying fact that you need to treat your customers really well. You need to provide a good waiting room for them to be in, give them prompt service, make sure they don't feel like they're getting ripped off by you, because let's face it, our industry tends to have a bad reputation, and any new customer that you have probably thinks you're trying to screw them in some way. So anything you can do to circumvent that and show them otherwise, you're going to become their guy. And if you're their guy, then you're in it forever, because they don't know tires, they don't want to know tires, they knew enough to go online to see what the prices are what, but the fact is they don't want to know about it. And if they have somebody they can trust, they'll go to you.
I'll tell you one thing we're doing, and you know, I'm not making a lot of friends out of the car dealers in the Boston market, but which I really care about. We're being extremely vocal on the fact that the consumer is being bombarded with these recalls and service calls. Now, between us in the room, I think most of the recalls they're nonsense. Okay, they're an opportunity to get that person in and steal our tire sales. So, who's my biggest competitor? The car dealers. Okay.
Yes.
They're working at close to cost. They're not exactly the most honest place to go and get your car serviced and finished. So what we're trying to do is we're alerting them. Look, you're going in for a recall. Let them just do the recall. You know, we're doing these pre-recall inspections on cars and letting people come to us first. So we show them there's nothing wrong with the car, because those service guys that are doing the recalls, they're only getting paid if they sell something else. So we're alerting them to be careful of those service bulletins. You know, my wife got something about her passenger wiper blade was possibly out of alignment. Duh. You know, I mean, come on. Why do they want her back? You know, they want to sell her an oil change. They want her to have a good experience, big screen TVs, cappuccinos. Can you be that manicured at a Mercedes dealership in Massachusetts now?
I need one of those.
Yeah, right. So, you know, we're warning people. I mean, we're being a little bolder than maybe we should be, and maybe those parts guys aren't going to be as kinds of service managers as you want them to be, but I don't care.
No, but you're doing your customer service, and we always do the same thing. When a customer will come up to us with a written recall notice and say, can you perform this for us? No, I can't. That's a manufacturer's only, you know, applaud you to go in and get it done, because perhaps there's something that needs to be addressed and taken care of. But try to educate them not to be sold things they don't need. And a lot of people will come to us on the front end of it, not on the back end of it, which is great. But on the other side of that coin, there are people that just go there and they walk out with a $1200 bill going, wow, I thought the car was in pretty good shape. So they're very insidious. Everybody watches TV from now and again. How many times have you seen Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, putting up tires at Ford? Ford spends more money advertising tires than anybody I've seen recently. I mean, I see more ads on a consistent basis. So, you know, that's another presence that you have to be aware of. The days of having your brick and mortar buildings and having competition coming in from more places than ever. The internet is one. The car dealers are another one. Other tire dealers have always been competition. You always felt very comfortable that you could put yourself in a position in your market where you need customers, and if you treated them very well, you earned their business back. So everybody can compete with tire dealers. There's a whole group of people trying to get the business right now. And the first step in being successful is being aware of who they are and trying to counteract it. You know, the internet part that we talked about is where you said they're giving them wrong selections oftentimes. I had a great story like 10 years ago. I had this older gentleman, and he was very tech savvy. Ralph Dolmitzer went on with his BMW 5 Series wagon, and he ordered himself up a set of Michelin MXV tires, came down for me to install them. Back in the day, we charged him $100 to put the 4 tires on. I was making Glenn, this thing rides like a goddamn marshmallow. This thing sucks. I said, Ralph, you drive Spirit. I wouldn't have put that tire on. It's a really soft touring tire. I would have put something completely different on it. So he goes back on Tire Rack. He gets into a conversation with the people. So now they're going to put Firehawk GTAs, which is great performance. It's hell and noisy as hell. He comes back with the second sentence. I said, this thing's ridiculous. Will you please just put tires on? $200 in installation, he bought some tires from me. So I mean, those stories are what propel people away from doing it again. But if you can educate people up front that it's not always the best vehicle for getting the tires, and they also don't include the shipping. They don't think about shipping. Somebody's going to buy a set of 20s for their Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's $19 a tire to ship from Connecticut to Situate, where I live. That just levels your playing field. You've got $20 to play with in your pricing to make that customer yours. And like you said, I can stand behind that tire. Hey, everybody in this room has had an old tire at one point in time. You balance it, balance is fine, it's all zeros, the car's egg-shaped. Okay, great. That doesn't happen like it used to in years ago. But you take care of that customer, comes back with egg-shaped tire reparation, you put a new one on, no cost, sorry for the aggravation, we'll send it back to the manufacturer. If you bought the tire rack, you're mounting a spare, waiting 3 days for the tire to come. So there's a lot of things that you can capitalize, that you can provide them that they cannot compete with.
You know, online pricing is not exclusive to the people in the tire industry either. I mean, Dealer Tire, everybody in the room know who Dealer Tire is? Dealer Tire sells to car dealers. They have an online presence now where every Toyota dealer in the country, every Mazda dealer in the country has their prices online. Go to dealer, I'm not sure what the retail site is called, but you gotta know they're your competition. Car manufacturers are convincing the car dealers, you're not making money when you sell the car, gotta get on the other side of the glass, get the wheels off, they wanna look at the brakes, we wanna look at them. So, I think it's an awareness factor. You have to know what's going on in your own backyard. It's not just in your town. Again, I'm going back to the fact that everybody's looking to save money, so they're looking at the internet. What they're looking at, everybody in this room can compete. You shouldn't lose a sale to anybody.
To all your point, if you're a small independent business in a community, how you conduct yourself in your community can greatly affect how people will do business with you, because the dealership or the internet companies aren't supporting local ball clubs, they're not supporting the local Boy Scouts troops, they're not showing up at the local road race, they're not, so all those things can add up to people, even though they're still going to go out and look on the internet, you can, there's other ways beyond what you do in your shop every day to be able to compete against that stuff.
But if you have an internet presence on your internet, you should shout from the rooftops about what
That should
you're
all be on your.
Yeah, absolutely, and to the millennial, the millennial generation, that's kind of the biggest consumers, that stuff is more important than ever. Being a good social business and a good part of the community is one of the most important things to them, which really gives you a good in. I've always operated under, people would rather do business with a local business if we can keep everything equal, and that just adds to that, where if you can keep everything right in the mark and you're doing all this other stuff, you're being seen everywhere as a support, they're that much more likely to do business with you.
You got a question or comment?
Yes, since you mentioned, Barry, that you put the price online.
Yes.
We have 3-4 wholesale we take from them, one of each. How you can keep up putting online and exchange between you and the tire rack and everybody else?
Well, we use this tire scraping, tire intelligence, and they will send you a report every single day on where the needle's moving, whether it's anybody in the market. They'll go look at everybody's prices wherever you want them to, and then you can adjust your prices accordingly. And whoever maintains your point of sale or your website should be able to do that for you.
They'll do it for me.
It's not a monthly or a yearly thing. It's an ongoing.
That's what I mean. It's a daily basis on every day.
It's a good week to 2 weeks ago. We get your pricing, make sure you're there. A tire scraping is the way to go. You can't do it manually.
No,
You can't
not
call up
manually.
everybody.
No, I get net driven.
I'm
You
sorry,
use that net driven.
NETSA will do it for you.
They'll do it for me.
And they'll use time intelligence, which is
Oh, okay.
a lot.
Yeah. One thing that we haven't mentioned yet, and I think in a year or two from now is going to be the primary point of is Amazon. They're in the tire business, and they don't play by the same rules as anybody else. I know Toyo, for instance, they're in constant, there's tires coming up there, they're in constant violation of MAP policies, and they can't track down who's actually selling them on it. And Amazon does a pretty good job of blocking. My rep told me about this one business that he found that was just selling at ridiculous prices, and then found out what the business was, and looked it up, and I think it was a flower shop. They're not even in the tire business. So they got very limited information from Amazon, but he went on that, actually found the business, called the guy up. He knew nothing about it, knew nothing about tires. Some company had just took all his information and used it as a ghost online to hide what they're doing and to hide their sources. And yeah, the next couple of years, I have no answers for that at this point. It's still unfolding where that's going to go, but I think in a couple of years, Tire Rack is no longer going to be the biggest online source. It's going to be Amazon.
Well, I think all the wholesalers have recognized that they have to compete with the Tire Rack. I mean, you guys have recognized that for a while, which is good, and I think that's hurt them on the wholesale side. It's helped us on the retail side. But, you know, Amazon's going to attempt to do to the tire business what they did to the book business. So,
Yep.
like you said, I mean, we don't know what's coming down the pike other than they are going to have tires.
One of the phone conversations I've been able to have with people that are considering buying internet is I'll bring up the point that they are usually somewhat green-minded. So people today are green-minded, you know, it's important. But I said, well, how can you justify spending $20 to ship a tire and calling $80 on top of a regular price to set of tires? Green. And it gets them thinking. It's just a point that they think about.
I think when we talk about putting prices online, we still have not done that because there was always the two schools of thought. You put your prices on, they can shop, and they're not going to call. You know, we want to be able to get that phone call too, so we can sell them and make sure they're picking the right speed rating if they're just doing 2 tires, making sure they're, you know, not putting marshmallows on their sports car, you know, like you were saying. We're still not there where we are putting those prices, but I will say this is the first year, or 2016. Normally I would only get like 1 or 2 nasty grams a year about, hey, where are your website prices? 2016, I probably got about 6. Like, what the heck are you doing? Where's your prices? I don't want to buy tires from you because they're not online, but a lot of those people that are shopping online, they're not going to pick the right tire, they're not going to pick the right application.
Yeah.
We want them to talk to our store
But how many of
manager.
those people are not seeing the pricing and going to the actual website? This is a question I deal with all the time, because I have not put pricing on for that exact reason.
Yeah.
I, like you, am an expensive place to get your tires and stuff. Do a very good job. I'm not ashamed to tell you what I charge for it. I'm very upfront with all of it. But if I have that price in there without the conversation, perhaps it skews them to, oh, this guy's ridiculous. Well, it's ridiculous if you're not comparing anything that's included with it, like you said. Flat repairs, rotations for life, things that, I mean, you may say it on the website, but look at for. If you look at all the good tire retailers that have good online presence, the price is this big and all the extras are very hard to find.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a tab where you can calculate the price for your complete set out the door. A lot of people never get to that stage. Well, the tire's $119. Oh, good, I'm gonna get a tire for $119. No, you're not gonna get a tire for $154.
Well, how many of you use Net Driven as a what they'll do, and we were having our price online, and our price was right on there when you opened up our website, okay? Net Driven convinced me to not have our price on that first page. And you have the information about that Toyota tire or whatever, and then you go for instant quote. And then when you open up the instant quote, then you see the price of the tire, the cost of your services, your sales tax, valve is needed, recycling is needed, you want a road hazard. But that's where you can tell your story. Because if you have your price, like you said, $114, guy down the street's $113,
Just lost the sale.
he's got the sale. Because they don't know what they're getting with it. So I think if you're a net-driven customer, definitely get your prices on this, I call it the second page, on the instant quote page. That will force them to hit the button to see that it's not just the price, and you make a big thing, no freight on there or something like that, and just talk. That's where you can talk your story, tell your story.
Thank you.
Briefly tell your story. They don't want it too long.
I honestly, I'm of the no prices online, and I'm usually one of the cheaper guys out there. And every year I'm on the fence about putting them online, but I found if people are uneducated, they go for either the cheapest tire price or the biggest tire warranty, and neither of which is usually what they need, which is why I have a guy full-time that does online quotes, and he'll come and sits there all day, banging them out, and we still have been pretty successful with that, but there is always the trade-offs.
That's not right.
Yeah, yeah.
One thing I want to throw out to everybody that a lot of us are small single operations or one or two operations. And I foolishly felt this great comfort level that my customers are loyal. I mean, I do what you do. I have the kids in the baseball team with the Wilder Brothers on the back of the shirt. I have a guy donating to hockey, the band, everybody. I'm a community guy. These guys are my loyal group. And they are loyal by and large. If I want to report, I see who's coming in the cash stream, and the same names there over and over again. But the other day, a guy comes in with his Jeep Grand Cherokee for a sticker. I'm like, Bernie, really? It's a Mastercraft. What the fuck? You went to town for a tire. Oh, you know, I was in Hanover. I got a flat. Cut the shit, Bernie. You know? Your loyal customer in 2017 is not your loyal customer. He was screwing around online. It's a good deal. Bam. It happens. So you got to be aware.
Didn't get it what?
So you say, well,
One of the reasons that helped force us to go to online pricing was the email response time. That's something I think everybody's got to remember. When somebody sends an email out and they're looking for a price quote, they're not looking for a price quote 20 minutes from now. They're looking for a price quote right now. And,
No, you're right. It's gratification.
when we made that change to online pricing, we saw our phone traffic increase, our email quotes went way down, but we were closing more sales, people coming in with a printout right from our website. It was overnight's an exaggeration, but it happened right quick for us.
Makes it all clear. The economy guy like and said, I want these.
Just something you said earlier on,
Yeah.
fee with the tire rack, you may want to lower that, because what we find when the client decides to buy their tires at tire rack, you know, we put an identifier in their customer record so we know that they are a rack customer. They become a direct tire customer after that, and they never go back, ever. The next set of tires, we get it every time. Because they see that, you know, when they come in, you just blow them away with service and quality, you wow them right out in the showroom. They're your brake customer, they're your maintenance customer, definitely the next set of tire customer for sure.
Yeah.
what does it cost you to get somebody in the doors? And I don't know what you spend on advertising, but you get that one customer in the door by maybe lowering that install price just a little. Wowing them, they'll never go anywhere else.
Yeah, well, and like you wanna say that you treat all customers great and wonderful, but the fact is, like, we do the same thing. If we know somebody is an online guy, we'll just, they get priority on everything. We make sure we have them in and out and as quick as possible and treat them best because they are a priority. They're shopping somewhere else but came to you, and you want to keep them. It's the same thing if you're ever busy and have to send a customer to a competitor for whatever reason. You can better believe your competitor is going to try to keep that guy.
Well, if a rack customer comes in, or any other mail order customer, you know, I ask them to raise their right hand and promise they'll never do that again. You know, have I earned your business? And I just want to know for a fact we did earn it, and you won't go anywhere else in the future. And most people say, you guys are great, thank you very much, I made a mistake. I said, oh, you think you made a mistake, but you know, you did. Yes, sir.
You guys haven't mentioned me yet, but does Discount Tire Direct have any impact on your businesses?
I never see them.
Yeah.
I won't say never, once or twice a year I see some.
I always keep them up on the screen, but yeah, no, it's
I
always.
mean, they're a huge force to be reckoned with nationally for sure.
Yeah.
I actually use them as a wholesaler. Resource a couple winters ago when nobody on the planet had snow tires. Hey, cool, they're coming out of Arizona. Awesome, we've got a container.
Yeah,
We should all be thankful they're not in our market at retail level.
What's that one, buy tires? Like that,
Buy tires.
Yeah, I get buy tire quotes more than I get discount tire quotes.
Personally, I think it's an awareness thing, and I try to get my folks to be as aware as they can that, you know, listen to how that consumer is asking questions when they call. You know, the guy who walks in the door, if you lose that sale, then shame on you, okay? But that customer who calls, and you get a sense that they're looking, whether it's for a brake job or, you know, whatever, you know, you can get them on cabin filters where they don't work, where they come to, $2, you know. But, you know, hear what they're saying, listen to what they're saying, and respond accordingly. You know, if it's a regular customer and he says, look, I don't want to come down with tires, that's one conversation. But if somebody has the SKU and the size and the load index and, you know, it gives you 3 different brands and say these are recommended, you know you got to change your pitch to them. Yeah, and if your people don't, you're probably not seeing the sale anyway. You're not being aware of the market.
Yeah. Well, another thing, anytime somebody calls in and says, how much to have a set of tires mounted, then immediately ask, are they used? Okay, they're new, have you bought them yet? And it's important to ask that question as well, because we have different mounting prices for tires purchased from us versus not. And we've let a few of those slides and they've turned into negative reviews, and that's a really easy negative review to avoid, and a potential sale to gain. Just making sure that all your staff is vigilant to ask that question when somebody asks, what do you charge? Yeah, what do you charge?
But I have a question for everybody in the room. We're all maybe not comfortable, but we'll mount tires bought elsewhere. I don't think there's anybody left that says, I'm not putting those tires on. If you're not putting the tires on, chances are you're going to lose the opportunity to make that person your customer. But what do you do about auto parts? Do you have a guy bring a starter and say, hey, I've got the starter here on my car?
So on the regular, everyday auto parts, we don't install them. Somebody comes in with a set of appendix brake pads or does brake pads and motors, we don't install them. We don't get a lot of that anyways. The stuff that we will install is the specialty stuff.
Yeah, we will too. I mean, I'm talking regular runner.
Somebody
Guy comes in
comes
with a set
in
of ball joints. Hey,
Stop
What do you
taking
think?
risks.
Set of ball joints.
what do you guys in the audience, as a rule of thumb, do you allow that practice, not allow it?
Do you bring your own rags to a restaurant?
We use that analogy too, but we've taken a different tack in the past year. I used to say that all the time. You go to Longhorn and say, look, there's a ribeye, make it medium rare, don't fuck it up. You know? So what we do now is we use it as an opportunity. This is new within the past year. We'll explain to them, sure, I can put that in for you. It's going to be 1.5 times book time labor rate, and there's no warranty on it. And if there's an issue with it after you walk out the door, I'm going to feel very bad because it's going to be a bad experience for you and me both. If you let me price it up for you, give you a 2-year warranty on the part and the labor, I can stand behind the work and make sure you're happy with it. We've had more people say, let's go ahead and do it. And leave the part in the front seat and bring it back to the auto parts store. It's amazing to me. So maybe think of that, especially in the times when it's slow. You got 6 techs, all of them in their toolbox, pressing their phone. Guy comes in and wants 4 wall drives on a 4-wheel drive truck. Well, you know, what I usually say, no, yes, it is dead. Might I consider it more? Perhaps. But no, try to get them to be your customer. Maybe use it as an opportunity to gain him out of that.
How often are you seeing the type of customer that comes in?
Probably 1 out of 100, 1 out of 200, but they're still there. And, you know, if you say you have, I don't know, 5 of them a month that come to the door, you still asking. If you can convert 3 of them into your customer, why not just say, no, we don't do that? It's really a neat opportunity to try to gain some.
We just won't do brake parts because invariably you're not going to make a happy customer on a brake install. That brake squeal, you're an owner for it.
We truly, it's 5 a year.
You know,
We have a higher rate. But, yeah.
lift kits and suspension, motor spring,
And exhaust.
exhaust.
Yes, sir?
I don't have or run a retail store, but I do call on them, and have for over 35 years. And the majority of what I hear, obviously you're gonna find people that will mount their own parts, because everyone knows about Rock Auto Parts, right? I think a couple things come into play here. You have to take into the whole dynamic. Like Jack Welch would always say, you have to fire 10% of your customer base every year, those people that will not allow you to make any money. I don't think you can really. And what they also do, they suck away the time for your good customers, your repeat customers. Yes, you want to look at it as an opportunity, but I can tell you, again, if I was just a census taker, I'm hearing time and time after, they put on those parts, something went sideways, they have no warranty, and it just leaves a bad taste in their mouth for both parties. You, because you're going to lose again, because you're moving that line in the sand, And B, the customer is pissed because he forgot all about that, he bought them
I agree
somewhere
with
else.
Roger. You try to convert them to a sale of your
Right,
stuff.
if you have that opportunity before they make the purchase, but,
Correct.
you know, a lot of times these guys are coming in with parts under their arm. There's always gonna be somebody in town, let's face it, that's gonna do that.
You're right about 5 or 10% of your customers,
Oh, yeah.
especially the ones that make money.
Well, that's easy to say.
Just don't do it in
I
January.
find that kind Boston, it's different when you have 4 businesses, about 560,000.
Well, I find this is not an internet topic, the customer's at my front counter, he's the one who hit the curb, he's the one who ruined the wheel, bringing up one of my guys, I just listened
Yep.
from my office, and I saw him leave, go out to his car, and he dropped the F-bomb in my showroom.
Fire
My showroom.
ordinance. Yep.
With women in the showroom. So I went out to his car with him, grumbling and everything, I said, well, that didn't go very well, did it? I said, and guess what, you're not welcome back. He said, you can't do that, I said,
I just did, right?
that's fine. Yes, I did. So that's one of the 10%. I'll help you with this year.
There's always that, and you guys all recommend, I don't know if people have best practices for that wow factor, but a lot of the online, I'm sure, wholesalers you deal with, or you have it in your computer, you can register your customers' tires for them online. Yes, it's on the end user right now, but again, that's one more service.
We do that for everybody.
And for the millennials, when they get a ding on their cell phone, this is their lifeline. They feel like someone's taking care of them now. Again, I'm not part of that dynamic, but that's what I see is flustered. It does something for them. If you have a Facebook account, you should be blogging that you're supporting softball and doing all these things for Make-A-Wish or whatever. This is the stuff that just, it lights them up. So if you can, again, you want to wow them, register their tires for them. They'll get an email, bing, hey, they registered my tires for me, great. And maybe just a follow-up survey a couple days later. Hey, how was your experience? And that would really qualify if you did your job. Thank you.
Anybody else?
So I think it's multifaceted, and I think it's based on your particular business. Some people have businesses that are in rural areas, some are in hyper-competitive areas. My business is within 15 minutes of tire rack that people could drive, but there's no shipping. So I think it's, you have to look at this internet as a slice of doing your overall business. Barry talks about the wow factor, so you have to have that. You talk about firing 10% of your customers. My initial inkling with that is, of course, there are some that need to be fired, but in this social media world, they're going to lash back out at you, and they're going to come at you on Google reviews, on Yelp reviews, so you have to take all that into account. And we talk about internet pricing on tires, and I could see down the road, and there are some now, where someone goes in and they get an inspection on brakes or whatever, and they get the listing, and they're going to take that listing, and there are going to be sites out there, and we might even have to have them on our sites, where you put your car in, your vehicle information, and it'll have somewhat of a repair type pricing scheme. But we'd have disclaimers in there and stuff like that, but people are going to want that transparency level with mechanical services, just like they do with tires right now.
It's already
It's
happening.
already out there.
You look at.
Oh, it is, but I think that it's going to be...
Guy calls up and says, I need to know how many in the car. You tell him it's an hour and a quarter plus the pot. No, it isn't. I saw on YouTube, it takes 35 minutes.
Right.
Well, there's a company in Boston called Open Bay.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can go in and put in a certain repair that you want. And they'll
So
put
it
out
is
to you.
out there, but I think it'll become more pervasive, where we
Well, they
might
will
even
too.
have to employ something, some subscription service where we have something on our site down the road. But then again, if you're in an area and you don't put your prices online, I think how entrenched you are in a community, what type of community you're in, even if you didn't, let's say you didn't even have a website, but you did advertising and you said, listen, we'll match any website pricing out there, just bring it into us. I think the key is we want to make sure that we get to talk to the customer. Because if I could talk to the customer, I'm winning them over. That's the key, but the front door, we used to have customers walk through the front door. That was it, and that's how we got our customer. Now, other door, it's the internet. So we got to make sure that what we portray on the internet is as welcoming as when they open that door in that nice face that we see at the counter that greets them.
There has to be
Yeah.
consistency in your message.
Although not having a website, you gotta have a website.
Oh, yeah, you do.
You have to have a website that has to be decent, and you should really be paying for Google AdWords as well. Because it doesn't matter how well your SEO is or how well you're rated. Last article I wrote was about this. I went through all my stats, and right now 60% of the hits on my site are from either Google AdWords or display ads, because there's a GPS in that phone. So you could do everything right on the web, but if they happen to be standing next to a crappy shop, that crappy shop is going to pop up. And you better believe all the online guys are doing the Google AdWords. And the fact that you're working in a tiny little area allows you to saturate that, to make sure you're always up there with them. And Google AdWords allows you to circumvent the GPS in the phone, where you say, I want to be in this area around my store, and your paid ads will show up above any natural listings in that area, and it really gives you the power so that you're in the conversation in the exact area you want to be in. And with the online retailers, they're all paying for it, and all the big guys are paying for it. Like I get guys showing up that don't have stores 200 miles from where we are, but if you search on certain things in my area, they show up. But the fact that you're focusing on a small area, you can be above them. You can, because you're paying for just a little small area, but you should.
Not a lot of money.
It's not a lot of money, and we used to look at internet advertising as next to no money, and you should really put it in there in line with any other advertising you do. Like, that should be your budget. The thing that sucks about it is most of it's really hard to co-op compared to traditional advertising. But the spend has to be there, because that right now is, in my opinion, is the most important advertising that you do.
Do you have any everybody have Facebook presence? Who does or who doesn't? It's bigger than life itself, and it's free, okay? Unless you want to pay, you can pay to boost the Facebook.
Yeah, I totally pay for ads.
Yeah,
on Facebook, yeah.
But it is amazing how people communicate on Facebook about everything from the dessert they had to what they're doing tomorrow. I mean, it's way over my head, but I can just tell you that, I mean, the Facebook traffic that we see, and people are talking about tires and wheels at a store, can you get me these wheels? They're looking for quotes on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, get on Facebook. If you think you're too old to do it, get one of your kids to do it.
Yeah.
Get a young employee to do it. You've got to have a Facebook presence. You can do it for a donut.
In regards to
Gotta
that,
get it.
one thing you should look into as well to try to attract some of the younger people that are out there. You had said earlier how the phone is their magnet. They're on this device all the time. I get offers all the time. Text mobile. You go into a place, oh, you want these offers sent to you? So, hell yeah. So you fill out the form, you pay, you get big, 20% off to the what is that, free here, whatever it is. Well, I'm now using text mobile, and I'm at the infancy of it because I just started doing it a month ago.
And you're old.
And I'm old. So I want to see, but it's amazing in the month that we've been doing it, how many people have signed up. I mean, it's mind-blowing. And, you know, so you put out a really decent offer. You give them a free oil change for $25 off of any service or something that's meaningful. Well, next month you give them a free car wash. We're going to do a car wash. Down the street, free car wash. It's a shitty weather of March going into April. Everyone wants to get their car wash. Well, it doesn't always have to be $20 off a tire. Something's going to engage people.
Well, actually, you know, we're putting stuff up there that is absolutely unrelated to cars, unrelated to
What you
selling
need
it.
You have to put a lot of.
We're doing YouTube
Yeah.
stuff, we're doing like YouTube mannequin, my guys, that I don't even know what it was, but they did it. We did a YouTube about this video service that we give. And, I mean, you can see how many people looked at it, right? 463 people looked at it in the last 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, thank you. But it isn't tomorrow's technology, Facebook is yesterday's technology.
It is.
You gotta be
Well,
out there.
Yeah, and you can't ignore it. Like, one of the things as far as Facebook messages, and my wife always alerts me when there's stuff because I'm not on it. She is, but when somebody messages your business, it gives you a response time, your average response time, and it's really important to keep that as short as possible. That really adds to your credibility there.
And I do have one guy who responds to all the Facebook stuff because these people, they've got this 30-second concentration time. If you don't get to them, they're gone and never come back.
But if you do, they're probably your customer.
They're impressed.
Yeah.
They're impressed. So, Facebook school is fun.
Is anybody out there utilizing something that we haven't discussed with technology, with internet platforms or phone platforms?
Like tires or anything?
Just curious.
Or doing anything to combat the.
I will say something from what you said, Mark. You know, I'm going to beat up the tire manufacturers a little bit. They're constantly telling us to do exactly what you guys are telling us to do. But when you ask if they co-opt that, they go, no, we don't do that.
No, they don't. They don't co-op any of it.
That's absolutely nuts. They still want us to do old world type advertising for the co-op.
The elevator.
While they're telling us to do the other thing. They've got to change that.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know any way to co-op like Google Ads, the text marketing that I get the best hit rate on. You can do the display ads kind of with some manufacturers, but it's really tough. They haven't caught up, and because of that, I think I'm spending more now in marketing out of pocket than I've ever spent before.
They've got to go into the future to tell us to. They've got to do it.
Yeah.
Speak
That's a
with
very good point.
Yep.
Anybody else have any thoughts or comments?
ideas. Instagram, anybody doing Instagram?
I'm actually
A little bit. But I mostly do it on the, we do cartooning as well, and that's fine.
But if you look at people in my middle-aged kids, I've got them over 20-somethings, that's the platform they use. Facebook's for old people. It's all Instagram.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And my 14-year-old,
Snapchat.
it's all Snapchat. To him, Instagram's for old people. It's all 30-second videos.
And then they go like,
It was Vine for a while, and Vine went away. But I look at my kids, and anybody that has kids or grandkids, talk to them about the technology platform, because it's changing right in front of your face. I mean, I'm amazed at how embedded they are in technology. And I know my 14-year-old would rather sit in front of a computer screen 8 hours a day than anything that God's given her. And anybody that has kids in that age group or grandkids of that age, try to market to them. Imagine if you're in front of this box 6 hours a day, you get your message out to them. Wow, what a powerful tool.
I don't know, my 7-year-old grandson opened up 3 apps on my phone. I couldn't even figure out how to do one.
So it was like,